Hi YouTubers, I am getting ready for the Bachelorette with Michelle Young, and I'm going to make me a cocktail because I am out of seltzers. So I'm gonna make me a margarita. I'm gonna use some Casamigos. I'm getting me a strong drink tonight. I'm gonna probably do 3 shots. 3 shots. I'm actually making it, you know what? I was gonna do it frozen, but actually I just decided I'm doing it on the rocks. I was gonna do it frozen, so I had my little mixer and everything ready to go, but I'm just gonna do it on the rocks now that I think about it. I just need to get the salt because I like to salt my rim like so. And normally what I do is I just I keep looking because it's like about to come on. I had to shower up and get fresh and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna pour some salt on a plate. And then I take my Caso and I pour a shot. Not all the way because really, actually I did pour all the way. So since I poured a full shot, I am going to pour it in there like so. And then I'm going to pour a little bit more in here because I'm going to basically put this on the rim so my salt can stick to my margarita glass. Oh, y'all, I was getting ready like for the Bachelorette and putting my toddler to bed, and oh my gosh, he was a piece of work tonight. So I'm having extra shots of Casamigos in my drink since he was a piece of work. I take my glass and I rush it around in the salt. And then this is what I end up with, a salted margarita glass. And then I'm going to shot. Already, oh, I'm spilling liquor. I'm spilling Casa. That's 2. About to have to take a whole nother shower. 3. I got my margarita mix. This, if I do 3 of the shots, I do 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do 5. 5. Get some ice. Ice. All right, I got my ice. And then I'm gonna put my top on here. Put my shot back on there. Shake what your mama gave you. Shake. All right, take the top off. Pour. When I was in college, I used to bartend a little bit. And then you have a margarita. All right, time for the Bachelorette. Season 18, episode 1 aired tonight with Michelle Young as our new Bachelorette. So I have been just anticipating this season of the Bachelorette since since they announced that Michelle was going to be the Bachelorette from Matt James's season of The Bachelor. And it was a 2-hour episode, and boy, do I have a lot to talk about. Oh my gosh, it was 30 guys. So initially, I did not realize that it was going to be a 2-hour episode. And then like right before the episode, I was like, how are they going to put 30 guys in an hour? So I clicked on my TV and I saw that it was 2 hours. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's 2 hours long. How am I going to stay awake? It's 10 o'clock, and 10 o'clock is really, really late for me, seeing as though I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I woke up at like 5 something this morning. For no reason. My body just gets up at like 5 or 6. That's just how my body operates. So like honestly, by like 8 o'clock, I'm most times already in the bed. Like, I'm not asleep. I try not to go to sleep until like 10 or a little bit after 10 because I will wake up like in the middle of the night. And if I wake up, I'll kind of stay up for a few hours. So I try not to go to bed too early, because if I do go to bed too early, I will get up really early, like 1 o'clock or something in the morning. Anyway, it was so many guys that I had to take notes. So many guys. But I just want to first start by saying I am so excited for Michelle. I mean, she looked absolutely stunning this whole episode. She is just a beautiful, charismatic, authentic, genuine woman. And I am just so happy to see a Black woman being represented so eloquently, and her composure, like when she got out that limo, her composure was just like, it was amazing. And I'm just so happy, like right now, like I'm very happy, as if I know her, right? Anyway, so let's get started. Oh my gosh, I had to take notes because 30 guys, there was no way I would remember every single guy, right? No way, no way. So the episode started out with Michelle in her classroom teaching her 5th grade students. And then while she was teaching her students, you can kind of hear in the background where she was just describing a little bit about her past and her life to become who she is today. She says that she did not date until her senior year in high school. Wow, senior year in high school? That's interesting. And then there was a scene also at the beginning with her parents. And her parents have been married for 33 years, and they had a sit down. And she was just talking with her parents, and they were very supportive of her, and they were supportive of her being the Bachelorette. And I'm not gonna lie, like as soon as the episode started, the thought that ran through my mind was Matt James missed out. Like, missed out. And you know, I know that God has someone for everyone, and I know that just because you think a person is for you, they may not be for you, but I really think he missed out on a gem. But to a blessing to her, hopefully she does find her future husband in this process. So there's a blessing in every lesson. That's all I gotta say about that. Now, moving on. So the first guy who was brought up was Joe. Joe is a real estate developer, and he's from Minnesota. So he's from where she's from. I actually don't know what part of Minnesota she's from, but I know he's from Minnesota. He's biracial, and he's into basketball. And I feel like a lot of the guys tried to say that they were into basketball. I don't really know if that's true or not, but they made it seem like they play basketball, they play football, or they were some type of athlete or athletic. They all kind of portrayed that type of scenario. Next up, we had Clayton. Clayton was very attractive. I found that about, when I first saw him, I was like, ooh, he's really cute. And then the screen flashed to Nate, and I was like, damn, Nate is fine as hell. Oh my God, he is attractive. And him and Michelle, they look so good together. Granted, when you get to a certain age, it's not about how you look together. It's about more of the personality, the dynamics, and what you want further in your life. But just at first glance, beautiful couple. I can see it for her and Nate. And then there was Ryan. Okay, so Ryan, his first glance look of him was he was on a tractor trailer. And I don't know, it's just something about Ryan that I did not like. Like, I don't know what it was, but it's just something that I didn't like. I don't know what it was, but it's just something I didn't like. I felt like there was a red flag. And then the two girls, oh gosh, I do not want to mess up their names, but they have already been on seasons of The Bachelorette. I think Tisha and Caitlin maybe are their names. they went to a few of the guys' room. I don't remember exactly what guys, but they went to at least 3 or 4 of the guys' room. And in Ryan's room, they found some paperwork that was like, how to get more screen time, how not to be the villain, how this, how that. Basically, a lot of red flags. So when they found that, you know, I already kind of was like, at Ryan. And then I really was like, Ryan has to go. Because Ryan is probably more than likely there for the wrong reasons. But yeah, so that was pretty much the first part. So they showed like 3 or 4 guys, who they are, their names, what they do, etc., etc. And then they showed, then it kind of flashed to Michelle getting out of the limo to get ready to meet each guy. So the first guy who got out of the limo was Nate. And like I said, Nate is fine as hell. And I love his tagline. He was like, better Nate than never. And I thought that was so cute and clever. That was very cute. Then Romeo got out. To be honest, I wasn't really feeling Romeo. Romeo was speaking French, and I just thought that was a little corny because Michelle doesn't know French, so she had no idea what he was saying. And I get that some people think that speaking French is attractive, but I just feel like on the first impression, I would not have come out speaking French. And good effort, but I just found that to be a little bit corny. Clayton, the guy who, I think that was the guy, yeah, Clayton, who I said was fine. He came out of the limo and he gave her a ruler. That was kind of cute because she's a teacher. He was telling her like, oh, spank me whenever you want to. Ha ha ha. So you got to see like a bit of his personality and that he's humorous. So that was pretty cool. Then Jamie. I don't really remember Jamie. I'm trying to remember Jamie's face. Maybe I do remember Jamie. Jamie is cute. And he said something very different. So he was like, basically her dress, he was like, that was just fabric until you brought it to life. And you know, that's like, if a guy said that to you on the street, you'll be like, ooh, thank you. Like it's something that you would be smitten by and that later on you would have to like sit down and be like, what did he say to me? That was very clever. So I will mark that as clever. Pardeep. Pardeep is the neuroscientist and he struck me as just a little dorky. Obviously, neuroscientist goes along with being a dork. So I'm not surprised that he came off as dorky, but I think that's how you I don't even know if that's how you pronounce his name. But he definitely came off as a little dorky to me, which doesn't hurt. I'm not the Bachelorette. I'm not picking. I wrote down LT's name, but I didn't write down anything about LT, so I don't know what I wanted to say about LT. But there was a guy named LT. Oh, LT. Well, I don't know. I was about to say LT is the man who gave a necklace. So there was a man, I don't know his name, but he gave Michelle a necklace. He's from Louisiana. And he said some shit like, you got to show something to get this necklace in Louisiana. And sis took that necklace right off and gave it back to his ass. And then he tried to switch it up. So that was a bit awkward. Like, not a good, I wouldn't like think that was a good first impression to say something like that. Haha, if you were trying to be funny, but didn't really come off as funny. That came off as find something else to talk about. Brandon J. I feel like really about Brandon J. I feel like the way that like his confessionals, they just came off a little bit desperate, like overly eager, like, oh my gosh, I want a rose, I want a rose, I want a rose. He also kind of gives me like little boy vibes, not grown man. Granted, these are all just first impressions. I do not know these men. I do not know what they're about. So this is just me speaking on first impressions. And I just feel like Brandon J gave me a bit of a little kid type of vibe. I don't know why, but he just gave me like little kid vibes. And then I think he was the one who showed up in that bed. And I don't know, it was just too much. Like, no. Rick was the guy who, he was the plate of food. So he was inside of a table, and when she took the top off, he was inside of the table. That was a cool idea. You know, people, basically the goal was, I guess, to stand out. So who could stand out to get the first impression rose. So that was very unique of Rick to basically, you know how like people pop out of a cake? So that's pretty much what he did, except he didn't pop out. He was just a plate of food. I don't really have an opinion about Rick just yet. The guy Ryan, who I said that I kind of didn't like, he showed up in an ice cream truck, which we find out that he showed up in the ice cream truck because he had been doing research trying to like basically be something, allegedly be something that he's not. So he somehow found out that Michelle likes ice cream, so he pulled up in an ice cream truck. Oh gosh. Look, I've been drinking margaritas, my Casamigos margaritas, and I'm just getting a little sleepy. The apple dude. So the apple guy was corny to me. So he had on the apple costume, which was, you know, okay, different, seeing as though she's a teacher, so that's a good way to stand out. But she asked him like what kind of apples, and he said a Granny, he had a red apple on, but he said a Granny Smith, and Granny Smiths are green. There's so many red apples. He could have said Macintosh, Red Delicious, Pink Lady. He could have said so many different red apples, Gala, but he said a Granny Smith, which is a green apple. Mind you, he's wearing a red apple. I don't know, maybe he doesn't eat apples. I don't know, but he came off as like corny to me and just like trying a little bit too hard. The pizzapreneur, I'm just not feeling the pizzapreneur. I don't know why, but I'm just not feeling him at all. No comments other than I'm not feeling him. Daniel, the firefighter. I'm not feeling him either. There's two firefighters. So there's Daniel, which Daniel pulls up in like a little toy car firefighter. And then there's PJ, who actually pulled up in a real firefighter truck. And I don't know why, but it's just something about Daniel that I'm not feeling. But I am totally digging PJ, okay? PJ looks good. Like, he give me grown man vibes. So I'm feeling PJ. I'm definitely feeling PJ. Joe. So Joe was an interesting topic because Joe... Wait, I said that Nate was from Minnesota, but I was wrong. I think it's actually Joe who's from Minnesota. No, I said Joe. Yeah, I said Joe. So Joe and Michelle, they previously met. Apparently, Michelle slid up in the DMs and they exchanged words, but then, what's his name? Joe allegedly ghosted her. And I wonder why he ghosted her. Like, he explained why when they had their little one-on-one time. But I wonder if that was the real reason why. Well, I do believe that, because, okay, so he talked about the George Floyd thing a little bit. And then he also said, like, that he was dating other people. So I guess maybe he wasn't ready to settle down with one person. So I'm just curious to know the time frame in between that. Because I believe George Floyd was, like, last year. I can't exactly remember right now because I've been drinking Casamigos. But just blame everything on Casamigos tonight, right? Casamigo. It's the Casamigos is why I can't remember as I continue to drink it. But yeah, I just feel so he gave a lot of different reasons or whatever. Do I believe him? No, and I want to know the time frame because let's say it's a year ago. What's different now than a year ago? Other than now, Michelle is the Bachelorette and you can get TV time. So are you being for real or do you just want TV time? Do you want to somehow get famous, blow up, etc., etc.? So he's an interesting person and I definitely want to keep my eye on. He's fine as hell. They look really good together as well. They would be a beautiful couple, but you just got to make sure that his heart is, you know, in it for the right reasons with Joe. Then the whole, you know, it's always got to be some drama. I wasn't expecting it to be this type of drama on the first episode. So a bunch of drama broke out with Michelle and Ryan. So pretty much what had happened was the girls, Tisha, what's her name? I don't know her name. I feel like I'm messing it up. But the two girls who've already been the Bachelorette, they told Michelle what they found in Ryan's room. Which what they found in Ryan's room was the paperwork, was like papers basically telling him how to act, how not to be the villain, how to get more TV time, etc., etc. Why? Okay, even if you want to get more TV time and you want not to be the villain and you want to portray yourself to be something you're not, okay, why would you bring the evidence to the fucking show, you idiot? Like, what idiot does that? Like, that was just so stupid to me. Like, why would you bring that? Just stupid, okay? His ass should have got caught like he did because he's stupid. Why would you bring that? Why? Why would you bring that? That makes no sense to me. Why he would bring the list of everything that he needed to basically do to the show. Why would you bring that? Okay, so anyway, so Michelle pulls Ryan aside after the two girls tell her what they found in his room. And I feel like she was actually kind of feeling Ryan. But she pulled him aside to have a conversation about it. She obviously was not happy. You know, she was upfront with him and letting him know how she's big on communication and yada, yada, yada. And he gave his explanation as to why he had that stuff and why. Okay, so he said something along the lines of his friend's wife printed that stuff out for him because he's never watched The Bachelor. Okay, bitch. First of all, you're not on The Bachelor. You're on The Bachelorette. Okay, tomato, tomato, potato, patata. Let's say same thing. Why? Why? And then he kind of like slips up and says like, oh, well, he did it. So basically, so then she's like, well, did your friend's wife do it or did you do it? And he's like, well, I did some. And it's like, you don't have to watch The Bachelor to be on the show. Like, I watched The Bachelor. I watched The Bachelor when Matt James was on there because he was going to be the first black bachelor. That was the first time I ever watched The Bachelor because I wanted to see a black man on The Bachelor. I wanted to support it. Same as pretty much Michelle. So Michelle was picked from Matt's season to be the Bachelorette because she was a fan favorite. So I've never watched The Bachelorette. I'm watching The Bachelorette because Michelle is a biracial woman, so she's black, and I want to support it. And I really liked her on Matt James' season, so I would like to see her journey, okay? So you don't have to watch the show. You don't have to know nothing about the show. If you're told that you're going to go on The Bachelor, and if they tell you you don't necessarily need to know anything, why print out anything? Why type up notes? Why do any of that? Just go on it like you're going on any dating show. Go on the show like you're going on a date. Just go to be yourself, to get to know somebody, and for someone to get to know you. Why are you trying to do too much? Like you don't need a guide to tell. This isn't where what's that thing called? Like where you go out on a date and then you have somebody behind you who's like telling you what to do and telling you what to say. So basically you're on a date with somebody, but you're not being you because you're not the one talking. The person over behind you, and you have a little thing in your ear, they're the ones dating because they're obviously telling you what to say and yada, yada, yada. So like, I'm so happy that she basically let him go, because I feel like even the way he was explaining it and was like, what did they tell you? I didn't do anything. Like, bitch, you know you did something. You know, the moment that I told you what they found, you know that you knew that you was wrong. And the fact that you wouldn't own your wrongness and just apologize and say, well, you know, maybe I wasn't comfortable or whatever. Or you try to be like, oh, I don't watch The Bachelor. You're not on The Bachelor. You're on The Bachelorette. I don't do this. I just didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. I feel like that's that typical, I'm not even going to go there, but that's that typical shit that certain people do to try to get excused for who they really are and their true motives and behavior. And I'm not with that shit. And so I'm so happy that she saw right through his bullshit and she let his ass go right then and there. Ryan, you didn't even make it to the rose ceremony, okay? She sent your ass high and dry, hiking, bye-bye. That's what I like. I don't tolerate the bullshit. Don't try to read something into it's not. It was a red flag. Exactly what he did is who he is, and he tried to excuse it and, oh, isn't that what I was trying to do? Or, oh, what did they find? I didn't do anything. Like, no, dude. Kick rocks. So, I'm happy she let his ass go. And then, her and Nate did a one-on-one. And Nate was, I feel like he was so nervous because he kept saying and and he didn't really want to talk about his past, like past as in like growing up and just his familyhood dynamics. Maybe he was just a little bit intimidated about like how Michelle's family dynamics are or whatever. Basically, she grew up in a 2-parent household. Her parents have been married for 33 years. Her parents have been married longer than she's been alive. I believe she's 28, 29. Her parents have been married for 33 years. So she has an example of what love looks like. She has a good example of, you know, long-term relationships, long-term marriages, etc., etc. And Nate, you know, told her that he didn't really want to open up, and she was like, well, I kind of want you to open up. So Nate opens up, and he talks about how he never saw his parents kiss. And, you know, the older I get, the more I kind of realize that I don't really know if this is trauma, but I feel like I see people like write on Facebook, and I see people say things all the time like, oh, I never saw my parents hug, I never saw my parents kiss, or, you know, I don't know what a healthy relationship looks like because I grew up in a single parent home. And it's like people are really traumatized by certain things. Like, I never saw my parents kiss. The fact that Nate said I never saw my parents kiss, like, that somehow affects him in his adult life and to somehow date with relationships. So I just feel like it's so many interesting topics. For instance, like when I think about my childhood, I grew up in a 2-parent household. I grew up with a mom and my stepdad. My stepdad is my real dad in the sense of he was around since I was 0. So pretty much at birth. I think I was 3 months old. So although I do have a biological father, the person I know as my dad is my stepdad, okay? And when I think about my household dynamic when I was a child, so again, grew up in a 2-parent household. My parents were married. I think I have an example of what a healthy marriage looks like. I'm pretty sure my parents had their problems, as all marriages do. When I think about the affection that I saw that, you know, my parents may have displayed or didn't display, I don't think that affects me in my adult life, because my parents, I feel like when my parents were affectionate, it was just a little bit awkward and kind of gross to me. And when they were affectionate, like in the sense of like hugging, and my dad like hugging my mom like, oh, Jay, I love you, oh, my baby, and like giving her kisses, it was like kind of disgusting in that sense. So I feel, so like in my adult life, when I think about how I'm affectionate, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I know that I can be affectionate. I'm not always affectionate. But I can definitely be affectionate. As far as being affectionate in front of the children, if it happens, it happens. It's not something that I think about. But I'm just thinking right now, because I'm thinking about how, like, adults grow up and they take that with them. Because, like, Nate, he sat down and he mentioned it. And it was interesting that he mentioned it, because it was almost like, because he never saw his parents kiss, he doesn't know how to be affectionate maybe in a relationship. He didn't say that, but like just the fact that he brought that up. And also because like the other day on Facebook, I saw this girl say something along the lines of something about she felt like she never received love as a child. And it's like she's mentioned like her parents gave her things, but she never really felt loved. And I think about my childhood and I'm like, okay, you know, I believe I felt loved as a child or whatever. I personally don't have the same experience, but as a mom of 2, I think about the things that I say to my children, and I do, like me and my daughter, we you know, express like, I love you. And my little baby, my little toddler, he's little, so although he doesn't understand, I make sure that like when I put him down for bed, I go, I love you, and so just so he knows. And then my boyfriend and I, we exchange I love yous as well. But yeah, so, you know, that's a whole nother topic for another day, just as far as like how childhood activities influence your adult life, your adulthood. But yeah, so anyway, then we get into the first impression, or excuse me, we get into the first impression rose, and she gave the first impression rose to Nate, which was beautiful. And she gave it to Nate because he initially didn't want to open up, and then he did open up, so she felt like that was him being vulnerable and showing his vulnerability and basically like trusting her to basically open up with her. So that was really cute. And then they get into the rose ceremony, and of course there's 30 guys, so I can't sit here and name all 30 who got a rose and the few that didn't. I honestly don't even really know how many roses she gave out and how many she didn't, but from the looks of it, I would say she gave out maybe 25 roses, and maybe 5 people got sent home or something. Oh, somewhere along those lines is what it appeared to look like. But yeah, it's so funny. My daughter came in at the tail end, and that guy who didn't have sleeves, so he had on a suit, but it didn't have sleeves, she didn't give him a rose. So my daughter came in like at the tail end and was like, how did she not give him a rose? And I was like, oh, please, you didn't even watch it. Like, don't come in here with your commentary when your little ass did not watch the show, girl. I guess she found that guy to be attractive. And then the Asian guy, I don't know his name, but she was like, him too. I think she gave the roses that I saw, I think she gave everybody that I would have given a rose, with the exception of the guy who didn't have the sleeves. As far as it looks, I would have given him a rose, but without having conversation with him, I don't know if I would have given him a rose. I don't even know if she actually met with him one-on-one, because if she did, they didn't show that. So I'm curious to know if she actually met with each guy one-on-one, and then maybe they edited it down to the people they wanted to edit it down, or if she actually did not meet with each guy one-on-one. So that's interesting. It looks like it's going to be a really good season. Of course, there's drama in it because drama is what makes the shows go around. So I'm very invested. I'm very interested in this season. I'm along for her journey. I wish her the best. I'm so excited for next week. It is late as hell for me. I'm struggling to stay awake. I had 2 additional shows that I had to watch tonight, which was Queens with Brandy, Eve, and some more people that comes on ABC at, I guess, 10 o'clock after The Bachelorette. And then on Tuesdays, I also watch Our Kind of People with Yaya DeCosta, Morris Chestnut. I'm not going to be able to watch any of those tonight. So tomorrow, I'll be catching up on my shows. And then tomorrow, also, Wednesday, I have Wonder Years to watch. Insecure is starting back up this Sunday. I'm so excited for that. I also watch BMF on Sundays. So fall TV is just heaven. I have so much good stuff to watch, and I'm not even a TV person like that. So I'm so excited. And you guys have a good night. I'm taking my little butt. I almost said I'm taking my black ass to sleep. But then instantly I was like, that's probably not appropriate. Anyways, I'm taking my ass to sleep because I am tired. So goodbye. Bye.